Hello, I'm Eliza, and my aim is to share with as many people as possible how I healed my incurable autoimmune disease using natural alternative methods. And today I'm going to be talking about bioresonance, or it's also known as electromagnetic therapy. I'm going to be talking about what is it, what bit of history about it, what devices are used currently today in hospitals as well, and what benefits they can give us, and how the actual devices work. So I'll start off with a bit of electromagnetism. What is electromagnetism? I didn't learn about this at school or even at university when I did my nursing degree, but it's very interesting. Basically, the Earth is a huge magnet itself. The core of it is the cause of the electromagnetic frequencies that it emits. Basically, the reason why a compass points north is because of the needle, the magnetic needle inside the compass aligns itself with the Earth's magnetic field. This is also known as the geomagnetic field, which comes from the core of the Earth. It's made of molten iron and different minerals, and it extends into outer space. This field not only protects the Earth from harmful rays, from the sun for example, but it also diverts meteors from the Earth to help the Earth stay safe, and also it does that in combination with the other planets in our Milky Way. And as a side point, for example, birds and fish, they use the electromagnetism of the Earth for navigation purposes. So, knowledge about magnetic fields is not a new thing, it's actually very ancient, and ancient medicine used therapies of magnetism for healing. For example, in the year 4000 BCE, the Hindus used electromagnetic stones or magnetized stones known as lodestones. And in the year 2000 BCE, the Chinese developed written protocols for using these lodestones on acupuncture points. And there's also evidence that the ancient Egyptian physicians also used the same on a regular basis. So it's definitely not something new. It's been around for a very long time. But into more recent history, in the early 1500s, the Swiss physician Paracelsus, he appeared to use these lodestones to treat seizures and psychiatric disorders. And there are many other examples of physicians throughout history that have used magnetism to treat certain conditions. And I'll put a link in the description for an article, a very interesting article that outlines far more of the history, if that's your thing, if you like that. But moving a little bit more into our recent history, in the late 19th century, there was a Russian engineer called George Lakhovsky, and he was the first known person to state that each individual cell, for example, all the cells in the human body, we have millions of cells, each individual cell has its own frequency that it emits. And he actually developed the first energy device, as you can see here. Very interesting looking piece of equipment. Also in 1952, moving on, there was a physicist, Winifred Otto Schumann, picture of him here. He predicted the global electromagnetic resonance mathematically, so he actually measured it accurately. Perhaps you've heard of the Schumann waves. These are named after him, and so yes, he was the first one to measure them in megahertz, which is the frequency, maybe you know, the radio frequencies. It's measured in hertz. So it's very scientific and it is very real. Commonly used electromagnetic diagnostic tools used today are machines, for example, like X-ray machines, MRI machines, ECG machines. I was going to say ECT. Oh, ECT as well. ECT is an electrocognitive therapy, they call it, which is still used in psychiatric hospitals today to treat different things. And I was thinking of ECG machines, which is the electrocardiogram machine used to monitor the heart waves. So there are electromagnetic devices used in hospitals, not just in alternative medicine, but what's the scientific evidence for the use of bioresonance or electromagnetic therapy machines used as an alternative source? Basically, they're still accumulating evidence for these treatments, and the list is pretty long, and the growing evidence for this is undeniable, it's irrefutable. So basically, what can these electromagnetic devices coming under the term of bioresonance, what can they treat? Sorry, there are two names, electromagnetic therapy and also bioresonance. Basically, it's the same thing. There are two different names for it. So I'll just use bioresonance here, but I'm referring also to electromagnetic therapy. Although technically, an MRI machine is also an electromagnetic therapy diagnostic tool. So, but we'll stick to bioresonance because it refers to the alternative method that I had myself. So basically, this treatment can help with symptoms such as arthritis, fatigue, HIV or the AIDS virus, post-polio syndrome, muscle strains, immunodeficiency, infections, insomnia, inflammation, multiple sclerosis, sciatica, Alzheimer's disease, stress, circulatory issues, nerve pain such as diabetic neuropathy, nausea, vomiting, and wound healing. So basically, they treat a lot of different things. They also treat skin conditions, and the list is pretty long, basically anything that you suffer with. And these modern bioresonance machines, basically how they work is they have been programmed with all of the frequencies that neutralize viruses, bacteria, fungal infections, parasites, and the like within the body. So how does it work? Basically, if you look at electromagnetism, everything is oscillating, everything is moving all of the time. We are made of moving, vibrating cells that emit frequencies, like our Earth does. So, for example, you take two tuning forks. If you knock one to make it hum, you know, it kind of makes a sound, you can actually measure that sound in megahertz, which in itself is a frequency, which is why they're called tuning forks. So one is resonating. If you hold the other tuning fork next to it, I don't know whether it has to be a certain distance away from it or a certain level, but anyway, if you hold it next to it, the second one, without being knocked, automatically starts to resonate with the first one because it's responding to the frequency of the first tuning fork. So it also starts making the same humming noise. This is resonance. And so it's resonating with the other tuning fork. So in a similar fashion, bioresonance machines, they emit this frequency which can be measured in hertz, and they neutralize, for example, the foreign bacteria, or they can switch off the virus. So the machine, it can also be used to harmonize the body functions. For example, all of our organs emit a frequency. The ECG machine can measure the frequency of the heart, you know, the do-do-doom, do-do-doom. I don't know how exactly it goes, but something like that. And so the bioresonance machine can emit the frequency, the desired frequency at the heart to bring it back into homeostasis, or the desired range, so that it's functioning on the correct path, because it's all measurable. So I benefited hugely from having this treatment. After having homeopathy, I had bioresonance. I actually had it for 4 years, and it basically put my disease, incurable disease, into remission. And it did take a long time for me because I didn't change my diet at the same time as having this therapy, and I believe I would have gotten well way quicker if I'd have changed my diet at the same time and looked after myself, looked after my mental health, changed my diet and had the bioresonance. It's a powerful combination, but I purely did the bioresonance. It took 4 years. And yes, diet is a huge thing. It's hugely important. I think it's well known now that plant-based diet is the best to heal your body. So there are loads of different ways to heal. This is just one of them that I'm talking about today. One that really worked for me. Basically, it was measurable. My blood levels were not normal pre-bioresonance, post-bioresonance, my blood levels were normal. I was told my blood levels would never be normal, and bioresonance did it for me. So It's not cheap. If you're interested in going down this route, I have to say that it's not cheap at all. But I'm so glad that I spent every single spare penny that I had to have this treatment, because it literally gave me my life back. So if you're interested in trying it, I would say take your time to find a reputable practitioner, because not all therapists are regulated. There are regulatory bodies that you can find that have only recommended practitioners. If you need help with that, my contact details are in the description below this video. I'm more than happy to guide you in the right direction. But one thing before I go, a way to harmonize naturally and for free. Okay, it's limited how extensive it will help you, but connect to the earth, because these frequencies, as in the video here, that you can see that the earth is naturally emitting, they help to harmonize us. And so if you take off your shoes and socks and walk on the grass, or you swim in the sea, or you're in nature, actually even hugging a tree, you can ground through a tree, which is maybe where the term tree hugging comes from, I don't know. But we can actually absorb the earth's positive healing frequencies this way. So man-made devices, concrete, which we all pretty much live on. We walk on concrete every day. Also rubber-soled shoes. We cannot earth or ground through concrete or rubber. So we've disconnected ourselves from the earth and the earth's ability to harmonize us. So that's one way we can do it for free. I mean, if it's too cold, if you're in a cold place, or in the winter time, the last thing you maybe want to do is take off your shoes and socks and walk on the grass. So there are actually grounding devices that can do it, so you can ground without having to take shoes and socks off, and even while you sleep. I'll talk more about this in my next video on grounding. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that's been of help and interest to you, and I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves.